What do all of these songs have in common? Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend. I'll never be your beast of burden. I walk for miles, my legs are hurting. See the storm set in your eyes, feel the thorn twist in your side, and I'm waiting for you. And even it's not me, it's not me, it's not my family. In your head, they're fighting. I wanna live, I wanna give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. And Peace of Mind by Boston, Heart of Gold, Zombie, With or Without You, Beast of Burden, Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers, and a million other tunes. What do they all have in common? They are written with the magic 4-chord chord progression. What is this magic 4-chord chord progression? It is probably the most ubiquitous chord progression in music today. Certainly since the 2000s, it seems like every other song on the pop charts is written with these 4 chords. They've been used by Taylor Swift, they've been used by Avril Lavigne, they've been used by Rihanna, Umbrella is in that, all kinds of songs by Beyonce, you name it, and it's been there. Bon Jovi, everybody has used this chord progression at one time or another. It goes back to a very distant past. Musically speaking, first written evidence of this chord progression coming up is Pachelbel's Canon. That's a blah da 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 ba 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 bum bum. See the thorns in your eye, feel the thorn twist in your side. Exactly the same chords as With or Without You. Now, it also evolved, I mean, in the 60s, in the 50s and 60s, the doo-wop, all the doo-wop songs like Darling, you send me blue moon. I saw you standing alone. This chord progression used to be called Italian blues because most of the doo-wop singers were Italian, and most of these doo-wop songs in the 50s and 60s consisted of these chords, kind of like rock and roll using the 1-4-5 chord progression, like Johnny Be Good. It's so effective and it's so pleasing and it's so complete. What is this chord progression actually? In the most used form is, let's say we're in the key of D. It's the 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression. That is its most basic structure. And if you don't know what those numbers mean, I have a video on diatonic chords. I suggest that you watch that before you continue on this. This will help you so much along the way. It'll tell you about scale degrees and the chords that go with it. But let's suffice it to say that the 1, if we're in D, then we have our Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, which is our major scale. D being the 1, E being the 2, F sharp being the 3, G is 4, A is 5, B is 6, C sharp is 7, then we're back to D. Every one of these notes has a chord. Every scale degree has a chord that goes along with it. So the first chord is D major. The 4 chord is G. 1, 2, 3, 4, D, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is A. So D, G, A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B minor is the 6th. So how do you know what key you're in? If you're playing a 4-chord chord progression, you know what all the chords are. 3 of them are major and 1 of them is minor, where there's a very, very good chance that you are playing some variation on the 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression. Now, how can you tell what key you're in? Well, one way, the easiest way that I can imagine is that because there's only 1 minor chord in there, if you were to take the minor chord, let's say any minor chord for now, E minor, okay? So let's say that there are 4 chords, 3 of them are major, and 1 of them is minor, and that minor chord is E. Now you take the tonic of this E minor chord, which is E, and you count 3 frets up from E. And you're in G. This is the key of G, 3 frets up from E, which is the minor chord. Now, if the other 2 chords in that chord progression can make a 1, 4, 5 with G, well, then you're in the key of G. So, if we're in the key of G, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be C. Is C in that chord progression? If so, then it is probably the 4 of G. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is D. Now, is D in there? And if it is, well, then you definitely have the 1, 5, 6, 4. Now, or some kind of variation on this, because as we saw in Zombie, we have exactly the same chords that we just spoke about, but it's starting in E minor. Well, E minor is the 6 of G, so this would be a 6, C being the 4, 1 being G, and D being the 5. So that's it. It's the same chords. We've just reordered them, and it's just as pleasing starting on the minor chord. I believe that Zombie, the entire song, is just a cycle through that chord progression. As are so many other songs, like, let's stay in G. Stand by me, and every breath you take, every vow you break, whatever his words are, every claim you stake, every night and day, I'll be watching you. Sorry, Sting, don't know the words to that one. So, there are so many songs that you could play with these chords. Now, why do you care? Why do we care? Well, imagine if we are a guitar player who's accompanies a singer and they say, I want to do a song like that. I want to do Stand By Me, but I play it in F instead of G. On a guitar, what's cool is that most of the time you can just slide up or down on the fretboard and just repeat the same patterns. But there are times, like in this, now, if we were to take Stand By Me, Stand By Me, and we were to move this to F, oh, well, here you go. Now your sliding up and down the fretboard is completely ruined. Knowing that Stand By Me and many other songs, Every Breath You Take, and all of those are 1, 6, 4, 5. Well, you just do the same thing in F. And that's why we use these numbers. That's why it's important to understand the scale degrees of the key that you're in. So we have in G, let's just stick in G for a second before we go to F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is C, 5 is D, 6 is E. Now, if we go to F, we just do exactly the same thing that we just did, and we name the chords accordingly. F, we have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that? That's B flat. 5. C. 6. 6 is D. So the sixth chord is the minor chord. So we have 1. To the 6. No stress. 4. 5. Back to 1. Because that singer might not be able to sing the song in G, but if you can't just slide the chords around on the neck, well, then you really have to know what the relationship from one chord to the next is. And that would be the 1, 6, 4, 5, or the 1, 5, 6, 4, or any variation on that. So that way, if the singer says, well, I sing it in E flat, that's the only key I can sing Stand By Me in, or any other chord, any other song that has this kind of diatonic chord progression in it, well, you just go to E. When the night is gone. You know, because I just went through exactly the same process in E flat. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And if you don't know the names of the notes on your fretboard and you don't know your major scale, it's going to make this a lot more difficult. Please check out the diatonic chords video that I made. If you have any confusion on this, it will really steer you straight. But there you have it, folks. This is one really powerful way that you can learn and manipulate some of the most powerful chords ever created in music. Why are they so good and why do they last so long? Well, it's because you have a complete cycle. You have, in C, you have your home bass. 1, 5, 1. That alone that's a journey already. Now, if you add in the 1, 5, 6, oh, there's some drama. And then there's, almost a resolution, but back to the 1. So it can just cycle. This chord progression can just keep cycling forever ad infinitum, and we can just sing different melodies over it. And it's so easy to make up melodies for these things, to write songs with any kind of variation on this. There's 6, 4, 1, 5. That's just like Zombie, except it's in A minor. So if somebody comes up to you and says, I sing Zombie, but I can only sing it in G minor. Oh no, what are you going to do now? Well, you just go through that exact same process. So G minor, or you're trying to find out where she sings it or they sing it, and you're here. So what do you do now? Well, now you know that if G minor is the 6th, like it is here, if it's the 6th degree, well, then you just go up 3 frets and you have your home key. And then you create a 1, 4, 5 out of this. So here you go. There's Zombie in G minor. It's not me, Jesse, it's not my family. In your head, you're fighting. Okay, so you don't care about cover tunes. Well, that's okay. You don't have to care about cover tunes. You can make one of your own songs up with this, and you can change it around, turn it on its head, change how quickly the chords change. There's infinite ways that you can use this chord progression. I hope this has been helpful, folks. There you have it. The magic 4-chord chord progression explained. How do you know when you have the magic chord progression? Well, you have 4 chords. 3 are major, 1 is minor. When you take that minor chord and you count up from its tonic of the minor chord, 3 frets. And if from this chord you can do a 1, 4, 5, well, then you have your 6, 4, 5, 1, or your 1, 5, 6, 4, or your whatever combination you want to make of that. There are plenty. I hope this has been helpful. Please, if you haven't already, hit the notifications bell, hit the subscription button, and let me know what you think in the comments if you think this was helpful or not. All right, I'll see you on the next one. I am Dwayne Dixon, aka Double D. This has been this edition of Double D's Rock School. Times I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live